Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Resiliency Cam. We got live speak volumes in the building.
Yes,
Also, my
yes.
cousin Nene, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. I know that's
Man,
right.
excited to, have you tonight. She killed it. I can't wait to, drop the poetry, what you did. And just shout out to, Women's History Month.
Yes, yes.
As I was just, explaining to you, I've never heard of that before,
All
Women's
right.
History Month. So is that something like a new trend now or?
I think Women's History Month has always been in place, but because of social media and how, you know, there's a day or a month for everything
Right.
thing now, and it's so easy for us to social media makes it easy or for us to celebrate together. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And after all these movements like the Me Too movement, there's more shows implementing like women's voices and stuff like that. I
Right.
think like now you see that things for women have become more relevant and put in the forefront.
Right.
Which women have had a history of suffrage in the United States, in America, you know what I'm saying, being the
Right.
last to vote, being the last to get paid equal wages as men. So I think this is definitely just a ceremonial thing that has been that America has been indebted to for women.
And that's real. And like, one thing I want to ask, because like I say, it's like I say Women's History Month. I'm like, what is that? Like I'm on IG and I'm like, they like today is Women's National Day. And I'm
Yeah.
what's Women's National Day to like, I want to know like when did it become this big thing of like feeling underappreciated? Because like, back in the day, like I say, us growing up, like I didn't hear too many women feeling underappreciated and undervalued to, like I say now, very outspoken, you know,
Because women have always been told that they had a place. You know what
right,
I'm saying? You hear that quote, um, behind every great man is a great woman, or something like that. And it's
right,
like always implying that the woman has a place, and it's not next to her man, or it's not beside him as an equal. You back there and you're being led, you know what I'm saying?
right,
And in this day and age, a lot of women are leaders, a lot of women are showing up
right,
more so than some men. So uh yeah, now women have the girth and the courage to say that they're here, and they got their feet planted in the soil, and they're unmovable. So
right.
yeah.
And then like let me ask, because like you say like, it's now like not being underneath, but being equal. So like when you talk about equal, we talk about equal with the bills, equal with the
Mhm.
housework. Like, is
Mhm.
is that something about being equal too? Like, you know what I mean? Because or do you feel like because I feel like two men got a place too, take care of the house, do this,
Mhm.
like it's certain things, pay the bills, you know what I mean? Certain things. So when you speak on being equal, does that mean like being equal too financially, things like
Can I
that?
ask you a question?
Yes, you can, cousin.
Would you ever lend your life, your body to, if you could have children, would you do it?
Truthfully, and I'm just being real, you know what I'm saying? And I never, been through the pain. I've never had cramps before. I've never, nothing like that. I'm a man, but I mean, I would though. You
You
know,
would.
that's just me because like that's the love for my kids. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I'm like, I would go through that for them. But like I say, I commend women though for, like what they do, like me and Boss was on the road and I was just telling them how special it is for women just to give birth. I said, that's how you know God is amazing.
Mhm.
I was talking about, how the ribs split and open up for a
Mhm.
baby I said, that's God.
To
Because if that
even
naturally happened to somebody, you would
you would
die.
die. You would
So,
die.
I definitely, like I said, I appreciate women.
There's a reason why you can't, though.
That's
You know what
real.
I'm saying? Like, and and because you can never do that.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? There for us to even ask for equality,
right,
that's a slap in the face, because there's something that you as a man can never do.
right,
And like you said, you even said it, for a woman to have life in her body,
right,
if that would happen on a regular day, you
right,
would die. That's the closest thing that a woman gets to death, is
Right.
having a child. As a matter of
True.
fact, that has been a long time ago. Before all of these advancements in technology and all of that, women have died at crazy numbers for
Right.
giving birth. Some women know that even today, that if they choose to have their child, that they're also choosing not to live.
Right.
So for a woman to make that sacrifice, there is nothing that you could tell me that you could do for me that could equate to that.
Right.
So to ask me to pay bills, for what? For what? When there's something that you do that honestly makes you not my equal. You don't have, God didn't give you that for a reason.
Right.
You don't have the power or you don't have it. And if you did, if any, I've seen these advancements that some men do or
Right.
whatever to try to conceive children, you would die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I just feel like when you talking about when women ask to be equal, it's
Right.
like how do we have to ask for that type of respect and acknowledgement
Right.
when we we were put here to do something that you can't even do?
Right.
So yeah, I should, if I'm out here and I'm sweating just like you, I don't have the natural strength and the
Right.
capacity to handle certain things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To pick up certain things. But if I'm out there doing that on top of what I could already do that you can't do, then why do I have to be asked to be acknowledged in that way, to be an equal? When
Right.
to be honest, like we not equals.
Right.
And we never will be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But to even ask to be able to stand next to you and say that I'm worth just as much as you, why? And then you ask, since you want to be an equal, why can't you equally pay bills?
Right.
Well, nigga, can you put your life on the line? No, you cannot. So
Right.
don't ask me no question like that. I don't like men trying to relieve themselves of duties that God put them here for.
Right.
That's the only thing that you can do
Right.
is provide and protect, because that's what you were built for.
No, that's real. Said in the Bible, it say, like any man who don't, take care of his family, is
Nigga,
worse than
you
a
don't eat.
non-believer. Like for
You
real,
don't eat
like
either.
for real.
Okay.
Come on.
And women are here to multiply.
Right.
You give women, you put food on the table,
Right.
we gonna make the meal.
Right.
You give us a seed, we make your legacy.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, and if you give us heartbreak, if you give us less than being a partner, less than being a man, we will multiply that too.
Right.
The days that you make hard for us, you only making it harder for yourself.
Right.
Because a woman is here to amplify you.
Right.
Because that's what, to stand next to you would make you shine a little brighter.
Right.
But you got to have that shine already. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
real.
But if you're trying to relieve yourself of that duty, to me, what that's really saying is that you don't believe in your capacity as a man.
Right.
How are you relieving yourself of the means to provide?
Right.
So I'm supposed to also struggle while waiting on you to live out your dream and carry your kids and make sure this house is straight? Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
It's not even like, I don't think that's something that should be asked. Any man
Right.
who's relieving himself of duties and is okay of doing that as a man, then you're saying you don't believe in yourself.
Right.
And you're not giving me much to multiply.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So like with that, because I'm just trying to understand you. So then, like I say, like if a man is taking care of his duties, then do you feel like he should be cleaning, doing stuff like
Absolutely
that? Because
not.
I feel like that stuff, like I said,
That's
like
natural
when I
shit,
talk
though.
about, like, you know what I'm saying, quality, I feel like we both should be cleaning, doing this
But
stuff, like.
but then that's just also another way of relieving, because what I know is that my grandmother,
Right.
Your auntie,
Right.
like my grandfather went to work all the time. My grandma also had a job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But my grandfather, every week that he got paid, he put the check on the table for her
Right.
and his kids. There was no getting around that. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And she made sure that they had meals and that the bills, every the money was allocated to the right things. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And he didn't have to worry about his household being taken care of.
Right. And see, like, I think like the women you speaking about, like, and it's just me speaking, like, I think they rare. Like, and I'm not saying it ain't, women out there, but like I feel like, like that's a great woman right there. Like you say, putting your money back in the right spots, making sure, you feel me, put that bill on the table. I'm gonna make sure, like you say, plant that seed, I'm gonna make it grow, whatever. You feel me? Like, I feel like, it's not too many women who are like that. And that's just, my opinion, so
I think it's how you train them up,
right,
because a woman can also follow suit,
right,
because there's not a lot of men
right,
like my grandfather.
right. That's what I'm saying,
There's
man.
not a lot of men like my grandfather, and I'll tell you, like, for a woman to be that, she has to know that's what you want.
Right,
She has to see that's what she's been led to do.
right,
My grandfather laid that out for her already. If
right,
I give you my check, you know that the lights got to be on. You know
right,
that the kids got to be fed, right? You know that they need food. So
right,
like, if this is the I'm giving you the blueprint.
right,
You know what I'm saying? If you ain't giving a blueprint to a woman, like, how you there, I don't think they're rare. I think the calling is not there, because that that is not what the men are asking.
right.
And it's not even not that they're not asking it, it's the way that they're
Right.
asking.
But let me ask you this: like, when you got men though who do lay out the blueprint, and then you got a woman who not following the blueprint, like, then, like, what is that then? Like, what
I
type of? Because like I say, like, I think there's a lot of men who lay out a blueprint. This is that. But like I say, it's some women who
let's
don't
be
want
for
to.
real though.
Someone,
Let's be for
come on,
real,
let's be for real.
because let's talk about what men are also choosing, right? Because what's trendy right now is the girl who's flashy, who likes to be, you know, um in the video.
Right,
She gotta have the newest blah blah blah, the lace wigs down to her ass, you know what I'm saying?
right,
But though the women that you guys are willing to give everything to
right,
are the women that you're complaining about. You want to give every you want, but these are the women that you go look for in the clubs. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Because these are the women who you feel are fun. You
right,
know, and you could tell the type of woman that you're dealing with.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
What
real.
type of values that she has.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? You could tell that. So when you ask for her these certain things, you know what I'm saying? You could almost tell that what she's willing to do and willing not to do, or what she has not been taught.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Because women who aren't willing to do those things for a man who's providing all of that,
right.
that's really rare.
But see, like, too, and like you talk about going to the club, most women who, like you say, going to the club are the flashies, want money, want something from
But that's
you,
who they
and
y'all
things like
picking
that.
too.
But then, like, that's who they want as a man too, though, because it's like I hear women talking, they like, oh,
But you
but hold on, because
asked.
right, but it's like, I hear women and like they like, oh well, all he do is take care of the bills and do this and that and I hear him complaining, but I'm like, no, that sound like a real dude though. That sound like somebody who love you, somebody who leading the right way. Because like you say, that's very rare. Like I tell people all the time, one thing I learned is, like, if you can destroy a man, you can destroy a household. And that's why it goes back to you got a lot of men not being fathers, not taking care of their homes and things like that.
I honestly
Like,
feel
like
like
I just feel like that's like that man is undervalued now. Like, because I feel like a lot of women now, they want the man with the most money, the most this, the most that. Versus like, I feel like that's
I feel like that's what you're seeing because that's oversaturated. That's what we see on social media.
Right.
But the women that are doing the right things
Right.
aren't necessarily the ones that you see next to these ball players and rappers.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So the
That's
media
real.
and all of that oversaturates the things that you feel aren't a quality woman. And
Right.
then now we're gonna generalize women and say that these women are rare when it's just only what you're seeing.
Right.
Because you don't see the work that I do. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
True.
and you don't see what I aspire. You know what I'm saying? And you don't see what type of men that I've dealt with or anything like that.
Right.
So you can't say that these type of women are rare when
Right.
it's like you're only talking about from one lens. You're only talking through one lens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because y'all young, you know, like, so you're only going to see so much.
Right.
And most of the time when you're going out to see the world, you're going out to have fun.
Right.
You're not looking for no damn Susie Homemaker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, be realistic because these women are out here, but then what are you showing them though?
Right.
What are you showing is important to you?
Right.
Because a woman wouldn't.
But it go back to your post too.
Right.
You remember?
Go ahead.
You know, like
What happened?
when you had, I think it was a video you had posted. Like it was like the woman was like, you know, I knew he was gonna be a good father because he was a good man. And like you said and posted, you said, there's no way that a man can lead in the right way and be loving and all these things and it not be reciprocated unless she's a what? She's using you.
She's using you.
She's using you.
Absolutely.
And so like once again, it's like I hear you and I listen to that, but I'm like, no, there is men who want a Susie Homemaker. You feel me? Who want that. And it's like when you show a woman that, and it's like that's why I'm asking, like, well, if you show a woman that, then that's what it is. Then she must be using it.
It's in the manner of how you're showing it though, because the man that I posted.
Right.
The man that I posted, Toby, which I admire him as an individual. I admire what he stands for. I admire the fact that he puts his family first.
Right.
Everything that he does, he makes sure that his wife is doing beside him.
That's real.
Has his kids there. You know what I'm saying? So you see what he values.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the thing about that is like he has already secured her in places like that she doesn't even have to ask for.
That's true.
So naturally, everything that he wants, she's going to give him.
Right.
Like there is no woman, I'm telling you right now, there is no woman who doesn't want to give a man everything that he wants. If that man is actually showing her the way to do that. Right. If he is laying that foundation down for her, there is no way that you're not going to get what you want out of that woman. Now, what some of these dudes think is it's money or it's just being in our face, laying pipe down. That is not enough.
Right.
You cannot be a boyfriend and expect a woman to put her life on the line for you.
Right.
You can't. And in some sense, women already do that by having children with men who don't have the intention of really loving them or being their husbands.
Right.
They're already risking their lives for you. Despite the broken promises, despite the fact that you're not leading, despite some of the fact that some of these women go through abuse behind closed doors. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. That you are not and you expect her to do more what? And she's already decided like she's going to bring life into this world. Despite all of that, right. She chose you over herself again. And that's what I was saying about that post. That man epitomizes
right.
Putting his family first,
right. Putting
his wife first.
Right.
And because he has taken care and secured her in such a way, and he said as rambunctious and as proud of a man that he is, right. He's that much more proud to love his woman right. In front of everybody.
That's real. A
lot of these men, they don't love their women like that out loud.
Right.
So, that's but real. Then you expect her to love you more than what you have displayed, why aren't you loving your woman out loud?
Right.
And then I promise you, there's nothing that you can't get from a woman, and you are securing her in every way.
Right.
If there is even a question in your mind about why you aren't getting what you want to get, first of all, ask yourself, when do you intend to marry this woman?
Right.
When do you intend to actually put her first?
Right.
Because that's what she's supposed to be.
Right.
Not your mama.
That's real.
Not
Said in the
nobody
Bible,
else.
your wife come first. Come
So
for all.
when do you intend to do that? Because if you have not,
right,
then you're not going to get everything. So
Right.
don't expect everything. Don't expect submission, because when you ask a woman for submission, you have to be submitted to God. So that means that you are the man that God put you on this earth to be.
Right.
If you have not submitted to that fully, you're not going to get submission, and you have not earned it. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that a lot of dudes aren't out here doing their stuff.
Right.
But there's an order of things for a reason.
Right.
Once you get, and it said it in that video, Toby said once you give a woman like order, she even said that.
Right.
He gave me order, so I follow suit.
Right. You also, outside of, just standing up for women, like I say, which I love to see that, you know what I mean? Because like I say, and that was the point of me just bringing you on, because like I said, I want more women to feel empowered,
Absolutely.
to feel like, let me show off what I'm doing. Let me, lie with on there. And she was so brave, like, okay, let me talk about women and things like that. You're also a teacher. Talk about that impact, because sometimes and I'm a teacher as well too. So just talk about that impact and what it means to you.
I teach in an underserved community. I teach in Watts, Los Angeles, and there you see you see a lot of homelessness. You see a lot of Black families who need assistance and things like that.
Right.
You see the projects over there. I'm right around the corner from the projects.
Right.
So to me, it's like the ones who need the most are getting the least,
Right.
and I feel like, as someone who loves her community and wants to pour back into it, me being an educator is so important.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? They need to have the best type of educator, and I made sure I disciplined myself to give them that,
That's
to
real.
stand in front of them, to be able to give them the skills and the love that they need. Teaching isn't just about being able to say 1, 2, 3, ABC, but it's like, I love you. And
That's
that is
real.
why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I always want to resemble in any room, in any capacity,
Right.
that I'm in. At least that I have that love for you. You know what I mean?
Right. And like, just speaking to, the, just needing more, things like that. I feel like I tell people all the time, like that's, a cause and effect, like I tell my kids, like, and I think it's big too when you talk about like the, them underserving communities. Like I think it's big having somebody that can relate to them though.
Absolutely.
Because it's a lot of teachers that just don't understand them. You just trying to discipline them.
Mm-hmm.
You not understanding that little boy ain't eat.
Mm-hmm.
He at home,
right.
He at home seeing his mama get, seeing things that a child shouldn't be, be seen. So I think that's important as well too.
Absolutely.
Just being able to, relate, and then you talk about your community, and your upbringing, like what that mean to you, as far as your community,
My community. I was raised in the Crenshaw district. My school was right across the street from Nipsey Hussle's marathon store.
Right.
I saw a lot of traffic. I saw a lot of things. My grandmother hated when we went to that corner to get Louisiana fried chicken. She hated it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My community means so much more. There's so much life in that community that the media and everything else will try to portray as dead, try to
Right.
portray as dangerous, and try to make you think like the best of the best don't come out of that community.
Right.
And I'm in control of my narrative.
Come
So
on.
it's like I always say, this is where I come from, and the best of the best does come out of here,
That's real.
because we got more grit, we get more dirty with it, you know what I'm
Come
saying,
on.
to be able to get to where we are now, and that brings along a sense of pride and a proudness when I talk about my community,
That's
because
real.
I wouldn't be who I am without seeing the things that I saw. I wouldn't feel like I needed to invest and be the person that I am for those in my community, for those children that I'm teaching, if
Right.
I didn't have my experiences behind them. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
So I think that the narrative needs to be changed, even though these are the things that people come and actually capitalize from. They capitalize off the killings, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? They capitalize off the dope dealers. That this is the things that y'all want to put in y'all movies, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But you don't want to tell like the grit, the grind, and what comes, the roses that come out of that too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's a lot more than what's dead, you know.
I like
So
that.
that's what my community, like being a person who represents her community, that's what I want to represent. You know what I'm saying? I done been one of them girls who I'll take off my hoops fast.
Right.
Okay. Like you want you Faye, I ain't gonna run from nothing. But
Right.
at the same time, that's not what I want to do, because I believe in empowering each other. Even if we disagree,
That's
you know what I'm
real.
saying? We all have something in common.
Right.
You know,
That's
we
real.
all have something in common. So it's like, let's find that commonality and see what we can do to be better,
Right.
and that's just how I feel about, that.
And then, I know you gotta, get going and stuff, but before I let you go, because I heard you mention Nip.
Yeah.
Because he was somebody who empowered, people and things like that. What is his, his death, his impact, how, what does that have on LA? Because, so much change, you know what I mean, since his death, you know what I mean? Like,
I think Nip, nobody really knew what Nip meant until he was gone.
right. And like, I'm sorry if, I didn't make that clear, but like, that's what I was making. With
Yeah.
his death, he even just grew
He
bigger. Like
grew.
he,
He's a much bigger entity now, in his passing, I believe, because people didn't understand what he was when he was here.
right,
People always highlighted the things about Nip that weren't as significant as the messages that he had for everybody.
that's
You know what I'm
real.
saying? Like, and now everybody wants to dive into his words and what he said. And to be honest, I had met Nip when I was my first year of college at UCLA.
Mm,
And he came and he was on a panel about how women are objectified in videos.
right,
Nip was on a panel talking about women objectification, right? And I was like, first of all, he said where he was from, and I'm like, wait a minute, you from the block, you know what
right,
I'm
right.
saying?
You up the street,
And I'm
right,
like, I found like, damn, I could relate to him, but
right,
his presence, I'm like, okay, he obviously a gang member. You know
right,
what I'm saying? But his poise, his
right.
his words, I was like, he is so much more like, everyone up there had a title to them. They were already established and all of that. And he had more depth to him than anybody on that
Come
stage.
on,
And from that day in 2008, I was such a fan. I went back in my dorm room and downloaded everything in Nipsey Hussle.
right,
And I was like, okay, I wouldn't have been able to connect with him
right,
even if I was just introduced to his rap.
right,
I wanted to hear him rap because of what I heard him say
Right.
there. And I was so intrigued, you know what I mean? And that's what I always put in the forefront when it came to Nip. I wasn't necessarily trying to like dive too much into his music. I wanted to hear his interviews.
Right.
Because that's what captivated me.
Right.
And people, were so basically they wanted his lifestyle. You know
Right.
what I'm
That's
saying?
real.
They wanted that. So,
And cause so much just popping in mind, but
mhm.
I heard you say like, they always tried to highlight the significance, like the bad, but like they didn't listen to the message. Why do you
Mhm.
think people do that? Because like I hear people all the time, well, oh, they being a hypocrite. But like, it's like my dad was saying one time, he was telling me about the situation and he like, oh, they were saying, oh, they being a hypocrite. But my dad was like, well, did they tell you right though?
Mhm.
And I feel like, that's a lot of people, and that's how we miss our message and our blessings
Mhm.
sometimes because we worry about where the message is coming from versus
Versus what is being said.
and why do you think that is
And I
though?
think, you know what? Like sometimes the reason why Nip I feel is so prevalent right now, as far as his messages go, is because he was made an example out of. You know what I'm saying? To get to his status from where he's from
That's
and
real.
all of that, and they were able to bring him right back down to where everybody thought he was going to be in the first place. He
Right.
was made an example out of, so now everything that he said is now that much more important because you don't want to be that example,
That's
because you
real.
could see from Nip, like, no matter the status you get, no matter how high in the game that you get, you're not untouchable.
That's real.
You're not untouchable. You know what I'm saying? And if he was able to be touched and he got all of this street credibility, all of these things and all of that, you know what I'm saying? Why wasn't he protected?
That's real.
So he was made an example he was made to be an example for other people. And that
That's real.
Nip was really a humbling experience.
It was.
It made people walk out here with humility and know that everything around you ain't always what it seems.
Come
You know what
on.
I'm saying? So
That's real.
it's just man, I got so much love for Nip.
Right.
Like, and it was so I'm gonna miss, like his presence. I'm going
Right.
because that presence is definitely something that you could feel walking in the streets of LA now.
Come on. That's
You
we
know,
riding the nip. I'm like, that's a
you
lot.
could definitely,
Come
when
on.
the month that he passed, the months after he passed, the streets were so quiet.
Come
But
on.
when the streets, when you heard something from the streets, it was everybody playing Nipsey Hussle,
Come on.
because that was our gem. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
real.
it's like I wish he was appreciated more, because the appreciation that I had for him when I was introduced to him in 2008, like it only duplicated because I saw where he came from at UCLA talking on that stage about women objectification, to him being a man who really stood on his words and
Come
what he
on.
believed in. You know what
That's
I'm
real.
saying? And he grew to be an even greater man to me. So it's unfortunate, but he'll always, like, I pray that he always will be a household name, and that, he don't his legacy is fulfilled through his kids and what he gave us while he was here.
That's real. Man, that's you hit it on the nail. And man, such a great interview. I wish we could definitely go longer, because I just feel the conversation just going, boy. I'm
Yeah,
like, I think she over there even like, man, I would go a little longer. But just thankful for your time, La. Thankful
absolutely.
for you even coming this way. Sitting down with me. Just you know first off, I'm just thankful to see you, as your
Right,
cousin. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Skip the podcast. Like, I'm just thankful for this moment because, we got memories together, but this another memory we'll never be
right,
able to get back. Like, so,
right, right.
and it feels great and amazing. I respect what you stand for. That's why I'm like, man, I think I told you about her when we even first started, huh? I'm like, man, I could give my cousin live, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, cause man, she dope, she hard, like everything
Man,
you
I
stand for.
appreciate it.
So, you a gym too, so
Thank you.
and
Thank
that's
you.
real. And I'm so thankful. I love you, cousin.
I love you
And
too. I'm proud
man,
of you.
also too, man, got that resiliency cam shirt
Okay.
for you. You know,
I know that's
so
right. I
first
was the
guest,
first.
you know,
Hello.
first guest to get a resiliency cam shirt. So
I love it. I
just want to
love
say I
it.
love you and thankful for you, cousin.
I'm just proud of you, man. Keep this up. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of believing in yourself,
Right.
and no matter where this goes, like no one could have done it but you. You
That's
know what I'm
real.
saying? And as long, just stay true to what you're trying to do. It don't matter the eyes that see it or don't see it. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
Know that somebody, even if it's one person who hear the message, you can change somebody's life forever.
Come on.
So, yeah.
Man, and that's it, man. Thankful, cousin.
Love you, Resiliency Camp.
Man, that was a dope one right there, man.